Hello everyone, I'm Janvi from Team OIG. So today we have Dr. Kanak Sharma with us. She is a dentist as well as a health educator. So she'll be teaching us on the topic overall window to overall health and preventive healthcare measures. So she has obtained her degree in dentistry from ITS Center of Dental Studies and Research. She is passionate about creating obesity-free nation and also have a strong will to promote the healthcare measures. So on behalf of Team OYG, a hearty welcome you. Over to you.
Thank you so much. And it is amazing to see that you people have started something outside your regular studies or jobs. It is very difficult and it needs courage to start something of your own. So congratulations for this platform also.
Thank you, ma'am.
Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Is my screen visible?
It's not yet visible, ma'am.
Okay, just is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Just now it is visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible now.
Thank you. So my first two slides will be dedicated to students who are preparing for NEET or any entrance exam, and those who think that only MBBS doctors are doctors, and if they didn't get enough marks in NEETs to get a MBBS seat, they get disheartened. And that was my story also. So this is all a BDS graduate or a MDS graduate can do. You are not restricted to only head and neck part. We have been studied medical subjects and dental subjects also, because the DCI has increased the uh, level of our education, because after doing BDS, most of students are want to go to abroad. So you will be, if you join BDS is a vast subject, vast platform. You will be able to do surgery, cleft lip and palate surgeries, full mouth rehabilitations. This is all what you can do. If you look at the first picture, this is the jaw reconstruction surgery. We cut a piece. I, are you following me, Janvi?
Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
So if you look at the first picture in the jaw reconstruction surgery, we cut a piece of jaw and we add a bone graft here so that the jaw length increases. And the second picture, this is a baby. Cleft lip and palate is so common in India because it's happened due to the deficiency in mother. And pregnant and lactating female are deficient in so many nutrients and care in India. So cleft lip and palate is very common, and the surgery and the post rehabilitation procedures are done by a dentist only. And if you see the image, the prosthetic eye, so a prosthodontist is able to give you a not just to replace your missing teeth and give you an implant and bridge. He's also capable of giving you a prosthetic eyes, nose, full facial reconstruction, and he's able to give body parts till the forearms. And if you look at this is the bread and butter for us, the complete denture, also oral cancer surgeries, and the emerging branch in dentistry is facial aesthetics. So you will be able to do nose reconstruction, Botox, hair transplants, lip fillers, face rejuvenation, and the wrinkle for the treatment of the wrinkle by hyaluronic fillers and many other fillers. So this is the branch which is in very much demand nowadays, because everyone is so much, what can you say, alert and conscious about how they look. Instead, in the process, they neglect their overall general health, but it is okay. It is important for us. So you can make a career in any of the field. And let me tell you, prosthodontics and facial reconstructions and oral surgeon are very much demand in armies also, because during the war they lost few parts of their body and mainly the face. So we will be able to help them also. So don't get disheartened. Dentistry has a very vast scope. This is not just related to 32 teeth, because what do you think we study in 5.5 years? It is not about teeth only. Though we study about the oral cavity for 5 years and we are masters in it. Just after doing BDS, we are masters in our area of concern. Along with that, you will be able to read in every subject your MBBS students or your friends are doing. So don't get disheartened. I'm not comparing dentistry to MBBS. I'm saying that choose just one field and be a master of it, be it anything. So in India, a child, hi Janvi, have you ever visited to a dentist?
When I was a child, I visited dentist, ma'am.
So when was your first meeting?
I don't actually remember, maybe 10, 15 years back, maybe.
Yes, so ideally a child should have his or her first dental meeting within 6 months of age, because that is the age when the primary teeth starts erupting. So a dental professional can diagnose any of the problems or complications that might happen in future, and they can give you the prevention for that, so that the complications won't happen only. Okay, so and let's talk about diseases associated with poor oral hygiene. You might be thinking that poor oral hygiene will only lead to caries, which we say keeda lag gaya hai, caries or bad breath or bleeding gums. But no, because of the bacterial load it creates in the body, it can happen, it can affect your heart, it can affect diabetes. I'll tell you in the latest slides how diabetes and heart diseases and strokes and lung infections are associated with just bad oral hygiene, and complications in pregnancies, osteoporosis, and everything. Meningitis. Meningitis is the severe, though it is rare, but it is a severe complication and it can lead to death or mortality. So inflammation is the infection, whatever you say, infection, inflammation, sepsis, pus, whatever you say, all these are the same thing. So whenever a bacteria or a foreign organism attack your body will respond with a protective mechanism. So, but inflammation is a double-edged sword. If it is continuous for prolonged period of time, I mean, if you are infected with a prolonged period of time, it can damage your body, and it can do more harm than the profit it is doing. The wherever in your body you are having inflammation or you are having foreign organism attack, the 5 signs of inflammation are going to be same. That is calor, heat production. If you have a cut here, you will feel a heat production here. Tumor that is swelling and redness and dilate, pain. This is all because of the infection and if you get a cut here, the foreign organisms will get the way to enter inside your body, and then your body will start inflammation. So at a few, for a certain point, these signs are indication that yes, your body is responding to the foreign organism. So redness, heat production, swelling, pain. But if it is continuous for a longer period of time, it results in loss of function of that particular area. I'll tell you how loss of function happens. So this is the normal mechanism of inflammation. This is the red blood, the artery you are seeing. So normally your red blood cells, your white blood cells, platelets and macrophages, inflammatory cells are in the flow in the middle. But when they sense that somewhere in your body there is a inflammation, the inflammatory cells like neutrophils and macrophages tend to move out of your arteries. So when they move out of your artery, they bring a gap there, like a cut and a hole. Then they move out from the artery and they reach to the site of the inflammation and they engulf the bacteria. This is how they engulf the foreign organism. So, but now the gap or the breach in the membrane of the artery has to be repaired, right? So platelets and white blood cells will come there to repair and adhere there and make a mass so that the artery will repair in some time. But if the artery has so many breaches in it, it will connect with the outer environment. So it will create the fluid imbalance and it can hamper your normal functioning of blood flow and arteries. So this is the normal mechanism of inflammation. It is going to happen everywhere, even your heart, lungs, kidney, wherever you have the inflammation, the mechanism is going to say that the neutrophils will migrate to the site by creating a breach in the endothelial membrane. And the breach will then get repaired by platelets and white blood cells. Now back to our topic, progression of dental diseases. So your teeth, the teeth you look in oral cavity have mainly four parts. That is enamel, the outer white covering you see, the dentine, which is the layer beneath the enamel, which gives your teeth the part of the resiliency. Whenever you eat something stony hard, like you eat some nuts, so just to protect your teeth from fracture or any trauma, there is dentine, because dentine adjusts itself according to the masticatory force applied. Then there is pulp. Pulp is the only living tissue of your teeth. It is supplying your teeth with nerve, blood, and veins supply. If there is no pulp, you will get no sensation only. But that is a good thing because there will be no bacterial infection, there will be no sensation. But if a structure is not having blood supply, it will become brittle. So if there is no pulp, your tooth is just like a dead body lying inside your mouth, and it will get brittle in some time and you will lose tooth. Then there is cementum, the covering of your root part, and then there is periodontal ligaments which connect your tooth in the jaw. Periodontal ligament connect tooth with the jaw, with the jaw bone. So when the infection starts, the bacteria adhere to your enamel surface. Enamel is the hardest part of a human body. It is highly mineralized. So it will get time for the bacteria to damage your enamel. So first the bacteria will damage your enamel, then after some time it will reach to your dentine. Till this stage, we can do excavation of the cavities or bacteria and do a filling there. But once the bacteria reaches pulp, the pulp will become necrosed and there is no way to save the tooth. This is when you will need RCT. In RCT, what we do is we clean the pulp canal, the bacteria and the chamber. We clean it thoroughly in 2 to 3 sittings. Then we fill it with restoration material, and after that we give a crown over your tooth, because now your tooth is dead and it will become brittle. So you can lose your tooth. So to protect it, we give a crown over that. So my point of concern is, if you can prevent the pulpal necrosis or pulpal infection, you can prevent yourself from like a costly procedure. RCT is costly, and also you won't be able to eat from that side, and yeah, the cap might create some problem. So if you are aware enough and you are meeting your dentist constantly, your caries can be controlled at initial levels only. And the main part is immunity. If your immunity is strong, if you are eating healthy, uh, vegetables and seasonal fruits, nuts, seeds. If you are eating healthy, the bacteria won't be able to multiply in your oral cavity in your body. So that will flush out. It won't be multiplied. So these are all the common problem you referred in a daily basis: bad breath, tooth loss, swelling, caries, everything. So these are the common problems. Now I'll discuss how different dental diseases are associated with the systemic diseases. Once your pulp is infected and you are still not getting to your dentist, and you are having, if your pulp is infected, you will experience pain, a very throbbing pain. So if you are taking medications, pain medications or steroids, you might get relief from your pain, but the cause is still there. Infection is still there. Now the infection will travel to the periodontal ligament, and it will, in the periodontal ligament area, there are some quiescent cells. That's where these cells are in the quiescent stage. They are not developing, they are not multiplying, they are just lying there. But the bacteria initiates the proliferation in those cells, and they get rapidly multiplied. So you can see a mass here at the uh, lower point of your root. You can see a mass here that is nothing but the over proliferation of quiescent cells that can lead to cysts and sometimes benign tumors also. The good part about oral cavity tumors are they are mostly benign, and the bad part is they are mostly asymptomatic. So this gets very difficult to diagnose them at earlier stage. Now you might be thinking how periodontal disease is related to COVID-19. So what happened is, when COVID-19 virus infects your body, it will create a cytokine storm. Cytokines are inflammatory mediators. Cytokine mediates inflammation, and they send signals to the inflammatory cells that your body is having an encounter with the foreign organism. So this is where periodontal diseases comes into play. If you are having periodontal diseases, already your body is experiencing cytokine release, because inflammation is same either with virus or with bacteria. So if you are having untreated periodontal diseases or dental diseases, your body is already experiencing the cytokine release. Now, because of COVID, also there is cytokine storm, and this condition is exaggerated if you are not having your periodontal diseases treated. Now, what will happen is increased vascular permeability. Increased vascular permeability is nothing but what I told you, the breach in the membrane. If there is a breach in membrane, there will be changes of electrolytes in fluid. That is vascular permeability. It then lead to sepsis, and then you all are aware how it is multiple organ shutdown, decrease in lung function, and everything. So the patients with periodontal diseases are most likely to get a exaggerated response of COVID-19, and which results in long-term ventilation in ICU. Now, the few of the systemic association with few of the systemic diseases, chronic periodontitis, the bacteria release some byproducts. The byproducts elevates inflammatory mediators like CRP. You might be heard very much about C-reactive proteins in the COVID times. These are the marker of the inflammation. If CRP is high, it means that your body is experiencing a high level of inflammation, which can lead to sepsis. Now, the heightened systemic inflammation with impaired insulin signaling, because you are already having diabetes mellitus. So the sugar, high blood sugar will interfere with the uh, inflammatory process or mediators that your body is signaling. Insulin blocks the signals from your body generates signals when a bacteria or foreign organism enters, but the insulin blocks the signaling path. And also high sugar levels in the body will give a better suitable environment for the bacteria or virus to grow. Now you have chronic periodontitis, you already have circulating bacteria in your body, bacterial byproducts, you have high blood sugar level, your inflammatory signaling is hampered. So this will result in increased diabetes complication. So diabetes and periodontal diseases happen simultaneously. If someone is having diabetes, he or she will experience periodontal diseases like pyorrhea and tooth loss and everything, because of the insulin which hampered the signaling pathway. And if you can see, this is how atherosclerosis, I would like to discuss in detail. uh, let's talk about this rather than just focusing on the flowchart, because it can be confusing for the people who are not into, not from our background like you and I are. So I told you that wherever the inflammation will happen, the signs and the process will be same. So sometimes the bacteria from your periodontal ligament can enter into bloodstream. After they enter into bloodstream and they reaches to your heart, artery or vessel, they start inflammatory process there. Imagine an artery from your heart having a breach in it, because the neutrophils from the artery uh, releases the some mediators which causes breach, and it helps in neutrophils to get out from the inside of the vessel and engulf the foreign organism. Now, if you are having a chronic inflammation, the procedure is remaining there for a longer period of time. Many of your arteries, heart arteries, will get breach. And to repair the breach, there will be platelets and WBCs. So they create a plaque there. This is how the lumen of the artery becomes shorter and your blood flow will hamper. Either you will experience high BP or low BP. This is all happening because of inflammation. Everything we are facing nowadays, including COVID-19, is infection only. These are the side effects of inflammation. Now, what will happen? The WBCs and the platelets, which get adhered to your arteries for the reparative process, they will shorten or narrows the lumen of your artery. This is known as atherosclerosis. So now you will have a hampered blood flow and you will get stroke. You can get stroke. Atherosclerosis leads to stroke. So this is how periodontal diseases affects the functioning of your heart. This is nothing but pneumonia. So when there are many kind of pneumonia, community pneumonia, hospital acquired pneumonia, and the one is aspiration pneumonia, when a foreign organism is aspired directly into the lungs. So sometimes the oral floral microorganisms are aspired in the lungs and they alter the respiratory mucosal lining. There, then there will be neutrophils, lymphocytes, and macrophages, and your and just like the your heart functioning efforts with the inflammation, your lung functions will also be affected. Same procedure: redness, swelling, pain, uh, loss of function. That is what happened in aspiration pneumonia. Periodontitis can lead to problem in conceiving, erectile dysfunction, and also premature contraction, because the cytokines released because of inflammation will uh, will initiate a process through which oxytocin will increase, and oxytocin is a birth hormone. It gives signals for the contraction that happens before birth. So high inflammation can lead to early signaling by oxytocin, and it can lead to premature birth. That was it. Everything was around inflammation. If you can stop the bacterial load at a given time, at early stages, you can prevent yourself from getting not only the oral diseases but the systemic inflammation also. So brush, floss, change your brush every 4 to 6 months. Never keep your brush in washroom, because the moisture will attract the bacteria in a cool, dry place. Regular checkers. Tobacco, we all know how tobacco harms. Actually, the nicotine in tobacco uh, will initiate a process in which it will some uh, if the nicotine is only the outer surface of your oral mucosa have 4 layers. If it is on the outer surface of oral mucosa, what your body will respond is it will create more cells and it will increase the thickening of your mucosa, so that the nicotine will not penetrate into the deeper layers. That is why you might see the people who are tobacco users, their mouth opening is restricted because their mucosa become thickened. This is your body's response to protect you, but we neglect that, and a point the nicotine and the carcinogens in tobacco will reach out into the deepest layer, and there they stimulate uncontrolled growth of your cells, and then it can lead to oral cancer. Because what is cancer? Cancer is an uncontrolled, uncoordinated growth. of your cell. If your cells are dividing and maturing very fast, they will not remember their proper functioning because they did not get the enough time to mature. And now what they will do is, since they don't remember their functioning, they will start invading into their neighboring cells, and they will deplete them from the nutrition. Now the area will get necrosed and the cancer will develop. Oral cavity cancers are mostly benign, I told you. So, but the disfigurement is very high. People have this much of big tumors in their mouth. So when we resect the jaw and we resect the tumor, the quality of patient's life will get affected to some point. Although our main motive is that the quality of patient life will not get affected, but this is the demand of the procedure. So if a person is having oral cancer tumor in his jaw, we remove his jaw and we take out a part of his rib and we do a bone graft here. So this I feel good when I talk about these things because uh, this is I'm telling you the scope of the dentistry. You are not restricted to head and neck only. You can take out ribs, you can take out parts, bony parts from your hip, pelvic also, and then you can reconstruct them here. Now, vitamin D is very, very important for your teeth. And you might not be knowing that 90% of Indian population is deficient in vitamin D. So, vitamin, this is nothing but the how it helps. Vitamin D is associated with, there is a study going on that vitamin D, deficiency of D is associated with 99% of diseases, either directly or indirectly. So don't make your child play inside your house. Please, after this COVID ends, or even if you have balcony, give them a good exposure to sunlight. Feed them with foods rich in vitamin D. And this was about the, so this is, you don't have to brush all of your teeth, just the ones you want to keep. So oral health is the reflection of physiological, social, and psychological factors, and it can affect your quality of life because patients with poor oral health tend to separate them or distance them from the society because they think that they have bad smile, they have bad breath, and all of this will lead to social and psychological problems. So these are the doctors that were, this is what I told you, the gums that hold your teeth have many blood vessels that bacteria can get into and spread throughout the body and initiate an inflammation process wherever it get lodged. Now, so we are over with the dental care part. You are now very well aware that you can prevent yourself at the early stages also. What can happen if you are not paying attention to your oral health? This is preventive healthcare. So this is what all comes under lifestyle diseases. See, lifestyle disorders are increasing at an alarming rate. Diabetes, thyroid, obesity, PCOS, that is polycystic ovary syndrome, that are increasing at an alarming rate, and those are nothing but lifestyle diseases. When I talked to few people and I told them that I can help you with managing your blood sugar levels, they say that my father is diabetic, my mother's family is diabetic, so I have accepted the fact this fact very at a very early age, that I'm going to be a diabetic in the coming years. But I want to told you people that there is a study which suggests which proves that you can fool your gene if you change your internal and external environment. If you do not give your genes any reason to misbehave, they can be fooled. So focus on your genetic and hormonal, focus on your hormonal part. Focus on changing your internal environment by eating healthy, by managing your cholesterol level, by managing your insulin resistance. Weight training, strength training is the most effective way of managing insulin resistance. So these are all the lifestyle related disorders: hypertension, diabetes, atherosclerosis, osteoporosis, anemia, ulcers, cirrhosis, liver dysfunction. Cirrhosis is the last stage of liver damage. So these are the death in India. The number of death that happens due to NCDs are non-communicable disorders that are lifestyle diseases. This is the recent initiative, inclusions of guidelines for prevention and management of chronic pulmonary disorder and chronic kidney disease. So they have added COPD and CKD, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, and chronic kidney disease under lifestyle disorders also. So this is something which I wrote on my Instagram, like back in 2020, coronavirus killed 3,000 people all over the world. When it killed 3,000 people, that is the point when we decided to have a lockdown. But obesity kills 3 million people every year, and we get a new flavor of Doritos, and the new food chains are opening in India. So please stop becoming a victim of marketing gimmicks of junk food chain. What they told is, if a female is on her periods, give her brownies, give her pizza, treat her right. Don't give her brownies. Sugar will hamper her periods like anything. Give her healthy food, make her happy, but don't give her brownies. Yeah, and carbs, the sugar in the pizza base. Cheese will not affect you. Cheese will not make you unhealthy. That is the base which is making you unhealthy, because cheese is omega-3 fatty acid, and those are good fats. So don't be the victim of the marketing gimmicks. Also, you might remember how hookah launch came into the play when few years back, 7 to 8 years back, I think. This was the strategy adopted by tobacco industry. They introduced hookah. Now the youth, the kids and the teenagers, which went there to for parties or anything, or just to have a puff once. After few time, they will get addicted to nicotine, and obviously they cannot afford going to hookah launch every weekend or every alternative day. Now they will adopt nicotine, that are secret, BD, all these things. So this was the strategy of tobacco industry. This is how the food chains and the tobacco industry and the fake doctors and quacks is what we say are playing with our mindset. So don't let this happen. Preventive medicine support people to take preventive medicine involves encouraging and supporting people to take threefold approach: eating healthy, a consistent workout routine, and managing nutritional deficiencies with proper diet and supplementation. See, supplementation is very important until you have a good source of it, like the deficiencies we have difficult to get cleared only by the diet, because by the time you get to know that you have a deficiency, you have already you already have so much of damage to your body. So the to bridge the nutritional gap between the required daily amount and the deficiencies you have, you will need supplementation. Now, the supplementation should not be having any steroids and any chemical substances. How you can know this? If you take a supplement of vitamin D and within few hours or just next day you start experiencing good changes in your energy levels. You say that I took that supplement of deficiency D yesterday and now my joint pain is gone. This is wrong. The supplement you take might be having steroid or any chemical composition. So give your body some time to heal. Uh, Choose organic supplements. Your diet will be doing the 80% of work, but for 20% of to bridge the gap, choose supplementation which are organic. They might be uh, a bit expensive, but they will do the work and they won't harm your body. So during COVID times, when it was declared that vitamin C and vitamin D can help you with the COVID situation and can build your immunity, that was right. That was very much right. But what people did was they went to the pharmacist and they took the over the counter drugs, we say, but those drugs are steroids and chemicals, so we should not adopt such methods. We Let's talk about diabetes. India is the diabetic capital of the world. India is the diabetic capital of the world. So what is we how we can what is diabetes? Diabetes is a metabolic syndrome which alters your blood sugar levels. So how can we diagnose and prevent diabetes at early stages? There is when you have pre-diabetes, if you are having a fasting plasma glucose level. Now, normally people don't check their plasma glucose level randomly. So let's directly talk about symptoms. If you are having increased thirst, increased hunger, fatigue, blurred vision, frequent urination, you had your lunch and after just 2 hours you started to feel hungry again. Why? Because your body is not able to process the sugar you provided it through your food just 2 hours back. The body uses sugar and carbs for instant energy. So if that is not processed, your body will feel hunger again. The risk factors are obesity, PCOS, inactive lifestyle, waist size. What I mean by waist size is that if your waist is fattier than your pelvic area, you are at the risk of developing diabetes. Why? Because the pot belly or the just the weight around your abdomen is the sign of liver dysfunction. So PCOS, obesity, familial history, and tobacco. What could be the complications if you don't stop your diabetes at the pre-diabetic level or at the insulin resistance level? What will happen? High blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart diseases, stroke. Diabetes is a silent killer like hypertension. It affects each and every organ function of your body. So, and the prevention is very, very, very easy to do. Healthy diet, physical workout, cessation of smoking, excess weight. Don't check your BMI because BMI will not give you the idea that the weight is from where the weight is coming. Is it coming from the fat or is it coming from the muscle mass? So look at the symptoms. If you are feeling fatigue, low energy levels, you have problem in waking up early in the morning, you have disturbed sleep cycle, and you feel hunger, you feel craving. When I talk to the most of the girls, craving part is very much into limelight. I crave for this, I crave for that. Craving are your body's sign. Your body is demanding for nutrition. If you feel if you are having continuous cravings for sweet food after dinner, go for go for something which is rich in magnesium and zinc. Your body is asking for magnesium and zinc. So this is about pre-diabetes. Diabetes, you might be knowing that the risk of diabetic people catching any infection is higher than any other group of the people. So the and this was the same with with COVID-19 also. More 30% of the people who went to the hospital had diabetes, and more than 70% people who required ventilation support were either diabetic or obese. Because what happened with obesity is, if you have fat in the your middle body, like your abdomen or your chest, the respiratory to respire, you will need respiratory muscles, chest muscles, rib cage. If the movement is suppressed or restricted, your respiratory efficiency will decrease. And this is what happened in COVID. When people need oxygen demand was rising, because there are comorbidities in India are very high because people are unaware. The problem doesn't lie in our medical structure. The problem lies in our educational structure. So, how does diabetes affect? What could be the reason that diabetics have more COVID-19? How high blood glucose suppress the immune system? So there is a breakdown product of glucose, dicarbonyl. Dicarbonyl is a molecule which interfere with infection controlling mechanism of your body, because it breaks down or it hampers the normal structure of beta defensins. Beta defensins are peptides which are antimicrobial. PCOS. I can go on about PCOS for very long, because this is something that I had suffered. It is the most common metabolic and hormonal disorder in women of reproductive age. So if I talk about few days back, a girl approached me that, ma'am, can you help me with weight loss? So when I took her history, I told her that if it is only for weight loss, or do you have any other medical issues also? She said that no, I'm not having any medical issues. I'm not on any medication. I am 23 years old. My height is 5'4" and my weight is 80 kgs. And sometimes I miss my periods. And I was shocked that missing your period, having a disturbed menstrual cycle is a medical condition. And she was so sure that she doesn't have any medical condition because she's not on any medication. But the thing is that the problem is started to rise because she's having her missed period, she's overweight. The causes of PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. Why we call it syndrome? This disease is very complicated. Research are still going on. First, earlier it was known as PCOD disease, but since we are not able to find any direct cause of the disease, we call it as a syndrome, because syndrome and disease are same. But when we know the direct obvious cause with high certainty, we call it a disease. But when we are not able to find any cause, and there are multiple cause and there are multiple manifestations, we call it as a syndrome. Hormonal levels. What happen in females with PCOS is their male hormone increases, androgens increases, insulin resistance increases, uh, insulin imbalance. So when what happens when we eat is our insulin level rises, and it insulin travels the fat from your bloodstream to the cells so that cells can use it for energy. But if there is imbalance in insulin, the the your fat, instead of fat or glucose, instead of going inside the cell to be used in energy, started storing in the intracellular area as fat. So you gain weight. What happened in these females is they have insulin imbalance, and androgens are male hormones. So they start seeing features like male, hirsutism, facial hair growth, acne, hyperpigmentation. All of these are because of androgens. And obviously the irregular or missed periods or delayed periods or less flow or periods for only 2 days, for only 1 day, this is not normal. The if I weight and lifestyle, obviously, if I told you, if I make you aware about the health condition PCOS can lead to is type 2 diabetes mellitus, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is something that my college friend just asked me that yes, I am having PCOS, I have hypothyroidism, I am obese. Now what I have started experiencing is I started experiencing difficulty in breathing while I sleep. Why? Because this is the manifestation or the side effect of PCOS. Acne, unexplained weight, difficulty getting pregnant. Obviously, reproductive system will get hampered, but don't take PCOS only as a fertility disorder. That I don't want to have a baby right now. I don't want to conceive right now. So I don't want a doctor right now. You will be facing so much of complication. If I talk about the medications we give in PCOS, we give hormonal pills. The pills are the mixture of estrogen and progesterone that are female hormones. But I'm talking here about allopathy, ayurveda, homeopathy, everything. The any medication will give you only a short term relief. The only sustainable way known so far to manage PCOS naturally is weight management, stress management, eating habit, daily movement, and emotional stress balance. Because when you are stressed, your adrenals will release uh, cortisol, that is stress hormone, and it further increases the production of androgens. Now, why I put this slide in the blue color is sometimes the reason behind your missed periods is thyroid and not PCOS. And if your doctor gives you that you even in hypothyroidism you are overweight, you missed your periods, you have hair loss just like PCOS. Sometimes your PCO thyroid get misdiagnosed as PCOS, और आपका डॉक्टर आपको सजेस्ट करेगा कि आप you go on hormonal pills. But what hormonal pills will do, they will suppress your thyroid functioning further. So your condition will degrade. So know your root cause, whether it is PCOS or it is hypothyroidism, because estrogen and hormonal pills will block thyroid hormone release. It increases the thyroid binding site. So your thyroid hormone will be binded rather than free. So it won't be able to do its function. These are few benefits of omega-3 fatty acids for PCOS and vitamin D protein. If I this is the last slide I wanted to show. I didn't put any content here because I wanted to talk about it. So the liver dysfunction, you might be seeing people having this only fat around their belly in the form of pot, that there is a tight fat. Mainly males are at the higher risk of developing it. because of alcohol misuse. Alcoholic fatty liver disease. Alcohol will trigger inflammation in your liver, and the progression will be same as any inflammation. Inflammation at a certain level, your body will try to protect you, but after that, there will be so many breaches in the membranes of the liver, and there will be plaque deposits, and your bile secretion will hampered, and your liver functioning will hampered. There is something, but what if someone is the non-alcoholic and he or she still have this pot belly? This is known as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. There is a fat deposition in your liver, which is because of your lifestyle and your diet, and not because of alcohol. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease can lead to non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which can lead to cirrhosis. Cirrhosis is when your liver gets inflamed, and in the process of healing, like when you get a cut here, how do you heal? You get a scar, you get a mass there, a brown colored mass. This is happened with your liver also. So this is cirrhosis. Now you have multiple mass and scarring in your liver. So your liver function will decrease. So it can lead to now your liver is not able to metabolize and process fluid and electrolytes. So the fluid, water, and electrolyte will start getting accumulated in your abdomen, and it will feel a pot belly. There is no standard, I can say, I'm saying it, there is no standard protocol to manage non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Your doctor will advise you, any physician will only advise you vitamin and dietary supplements. Workouts, don't go for very heavy workouts or long cardio. Start with yoga, start with light walks. Your doctor will recommend you anti-diabetic medications because insulin resistance is also involved. And lastly, weight management. Arthritis or joint pain. Arthritis is the inflammation of the joint. There can be many reasons. This can be genetic. This can be autoimmune also. This can be because of deficiencies. All this is related to your lifestyle. So COVID-19 and micronutrition, how vitamin D helps in COVID-19. Vitamin D vitamin deficiency involves an innate response. So it decreases inflammatory response. It manages the inflammatory response. It doesn't let it go beyond a limit so that your tissues can damage due to the inflammation. Vitamin D deficiency leads to more the patients with vitamin D deficiencies are more prone to sepsis and pneumonia. Vitamin A is the regulator of mucosal immunity, your lung mucosa, which gets most affected due to COVID-19. You can prevent it if you are having right diet and supplementation for vitamin A. Vitamin D, vitamin C and E are very important because it has been seen that the use of vitamin C and E in critically ill patient reduce pneumonia and acute respiratory distress syndrome, which happens in COVID patients. Now, now I will end with saying that we spend millions to cure disease when the prevention of those diseases can be as simple as a diet and a lifestyle change. So the problem lies in education and awareness. We have to aware our the society, the females, that this is not normal to miss your periods just for months or weeks. You can prevent it. You can prevent this. You can prevent diabetes. You can prevent obesity, hypothyroidism, liver damage. You can prevent PCOS. You can prevent at last dental caries also. If you're see we are expecting the third wave in October. So what do you think is the right way to the approach to the management? क्या करना चाहिए हमें? Should we go and protest for more number of NICUs, or should we get vaccinated and build our immunity so that this chain of transfer of infection breaks? Second one, right? We should focus on building our immunity so that our children are protected. If there is no one around them who can be a carrier of the infection, there are no chances that the infection can lead to them. So rather than focusing on more number of NICUs and protesting against government for medical facility, yes, this is important, but this is not going to happen in months or in years. So we should focus on ourselves, eat healthy, vegetables, nuts, high protein diet. Please don't ignore ghee and butter. They are good fatty acids, and vitamin D. So take precautions, do do a regular workout, because workout is very important in balancing insulin resistance, and insulin resistance is the key to many of the systemic problems. So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. It was very insightful indeed. Insightful.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, so preventive healthcare and the horizon is often neglected most of the times. So thank you for covering both the topics at the same time. And my last question is, what inspired you to pursue this path, ma'am?
What inspired me was, I started it like that I got disheartened when I get into BTS. So I used to study about what is the career option, what are the salary, what are the pay package I'm going to get after BTS. But there is a speaker, Dr. Rajat Bhandari. He's a dentist. I saw his video and he explained the scope of the dentistry. That encouraged me so much. So when I joined BDS, I joined it as a happy kid. I was happy that yes, I'm going to do something in it. Uh, so what I learned is, you choose anything. You want to be a dietitian, you want to be a nutritionist, you want to be a health advisor. Choose anything, just be a master of it. So there is no way that you won't be successful. You will be. And the preventive healthcare part is, there is a community medicine part which we study in our second year. So we neglected it so much that this is not a specialty. This is the work of a nutritionist or a health advisor. Let's just focus on the other subjects of our stream and just get a passing marks in it. But when I 1.5 year back, when I had PCOS, I started having symptoms of PCOS, and my doctor suggested me to go on hormonal pills. But I have studied everything, how hormonal pills affect your overall body. How am I supposed to eat something that I know is going to harm my body? That is when I
Ma'am? Ma'am, you are not visible.
when I got so what I'm saying is, when I got diagnosed with PCOS, this is when I wanted to educate other females. Like, if you can see this is one thing is hyperpigmentation and one thing is your complexion. I was always I always accepted my complexion, but this is what is happening is because of hormonal imbalance. Hyperpigmentation is not normal. So I'm working on this. I got my skin got better, my health got better, my menstrual cycle got better. So this is what encouraged me to go into preventive medicine, because prevention is not only better than cure, it is cheaper too. So this was
Yes,
this
ma'am.
was all
Thank you.
from my side. I hope I
Yes, ma'am.
add a value to you or the people who are going to watch the session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. It was very informative, ma'am. So, as you discussed many topics, you also told us how important oral eye hygiene is
Yes.
for us, and how it is related for all our disorders. So, people often think that oral hygiene is just something related to just our head part and neck part. Okay, so how difficulty you find with tackling that?
This is very difficult, because once I told a patient that you are soon going to have a pulpal infection in a few months. So before either you will have to go for RCT, and that will cost you around 5 to 6,000. Why don't I excavate the caries and restore your teeth? And he said that how much will it cost? And the restoration will cost around 2k. And she was not interested at all in restoration only. After 3 to 5 months, she is going to have pulpal infection. The pain is going to be non-bearable, and then she'll go for RCT. People are not aware only, because you might have heard so many people saying dentists are not doctors. They don't consider our work as health practitioners only. So, and the other problems are they so like you lose this incisor teeth, tooth, you lose the tooth. This is not doing any harm, but what will happen after few time is the adjacent teeth will start shifting in the space they have now. So this adjacent teeth will start shifting. The lower teeth, which is in the contact, will start moving upwards, because अभी उसको ऊपर रोकने के लिए कोई और teeth है नहीं. So your whole dentition can change. And one thing is, the when I educate parents about primary health, primary teeth, primary dentition, दूध के दांत, I told them that your child is having bacterial infection or caries in his or her primary teeth. They said कि दूध का दांत है गिर जाएगा. But what happens is your primary teeth is connected to the root, to the crown of your permanent teeth to guide it. So if you are having an infection in your primary teeth, it can reach to your permanent teeth. And when the teeth comes, you might have, and when the dentition comes, you might have seen children with brownish teeth. This is nothing but this is because they ignored or avoided the prevention they could have taken at the primary dentition level only. So, and about the preventive health care, when I say people that I can help you with diabetes, but you have to be consistent. You have to follow the diet and whatever I recommend for 3 to 4 months, along with metformin. Please don't leave your regular medications when you are on a health diet, on a fit or on a fitness diet. But so after some time, your dose might be decreased. I have seen that my patient's dose decreased, their metformin dose decreased, their thyronone dose decreased. This is all what all happened, but people are not interested in giving 2 to 3 or 4 months to change their lifestyle. They feel much comfortable in popping pills. And about dentistry is a, I told you, very vast subjects, from surgeries to reconstructions to facial aesthetics to hair implants. There are no limits. And there is a bridge course also which only in 1 year connects DDS and MDS. But I won't recommend recommend you to do that. Don't do something which connects you to MBBS. Do something in your field only, like MDS. Go for PhD. Go for few diplomas. Be a master. बीच में क्यों रहना है? Why you want to bridge yourself? You should focus on gaining knowledge, and everything else will automatically happen.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It was pleasure having you with us, ma'am. Any parting thoughts for our viewers?
Uh, just I want to thank you people also, because I told you, creating a platform rather alongside with your studies and your normal jobs is very difficult, and it demands so much of hard work, time management. So you are doing a very good job. Soon you will be very big soon, and you won't even realize. So and for the viewers, I don't neglect even a small part of your health. When you, even if you are started seeing small changes in your health, don't neglect, because you don't know what is the process happening inside your body. Also, when I something I wanted to share is, when I see people nowadays on Instagram, they say that someone from homeopath say that I can help you with your PCOS. If she is saying that she can help, she must be saying it because she has some knowledge. But what happened is, allopathy says don't go to homeopath. Homeopathy says allopathy is harmful. You people are not doing any good. The patient is not doubting allopathy or homeopathy or Ayurveda. Patient is doubting white coat as a whole. You are creating doubts in patients regarding their doctors. So instead of degrading each other, if we support each other, we will be able to uh, enhance the education part in our country and the awareness part. We should work together instead of degrading each other.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. It was a very informative session. You covered all the topics from the oral hygiene and the basics of the inflammation, how it is, and the pathology of it, and also the preventive health care, like, about diabetes and PCOS and other disorders, and how lifestyle modification can have a good effect on that. So, on behalf of Team OYG, I extend my sincere gratitude. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the
Thank,
session.
thank you so much for choosing me. Thank you so much. It was an honor connecting with you people. Thank you so much.